Okay, it's nearly September, and I already saw a pumpkin spice protein bar, a pumpkin spice candle, and a pumpkin spice dog treat in one grocery run. One. So today I want to talk about this whole thing, why pumpkin spice takes over the entire month of September like it's a legal holiday, where it actually came from, and why, even though I make fun of it, I am absolutely not immune. Let's start with where this all began, because I think a lot of us assume pumpkin spice has been around forever. It hasn't. Not like this, anyway. Back in early 2003, a small team at Starbucks got together in a room they called the Liquid Lab. Basically a test kitchen for beverages. They'd just had a huge hit with the peppermint mocha the winter before, and corporate wanted a fall version of that same magic. So they started brainstorming. Chocolate, caramel, orange, cinnamon. And somewhere on that list, pumpkin. Here's my favorite part of the story. To figure out the flavor, the team literally took forkfuls of pumpkin pie, dipped them in a shot of espresso, and ate them together, just to see what worked. And from that, they built a sauce, not a syrup, because pumpkin pie has this heavier, richer mouthfeel they wanted to copy. They tested it in exactly 2 cities, Vancouver and Washington, D.C. And the second the sales numbers came back, everybody knew. One of the creators, Peter Dukes, said they picked up the phone to call the store managers and could just hear the excitement in their voices before the manager even said a word. The Pumpkin Spice Latte launched in October 2003. And here's the part that always gets people. For 12 years, there was no actual pumpkin in it. None. It was cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, and sugar, dressed up to taste like fall. Starbucks didn't add real pumpkin puree until 2015, and only because customers found out and were, understandably, a little annoyed about it. So the drink that basically invented an entire flavor category was a rumor of pumpkin for over a decade. And nobody seemed to mind, because that's kind of the whole point. Pumpkin spice was never really about pumpkin. It's about the idea of pumpkin. The feeling. Sweater weather, football on in the background, the first candle you light when it finally cools off enough to open a window. And that feeling turned out to be worth a genuinely wild amount of money. Starbucks alone sells somewhere around 20 million pumpkin spice lattes a year. Over the past 2 decades, we're talking hundreds of millions of cups, and food trend forecasters have put the broader pumpkin spice industry, everything from the candles to the cereal to, yes, the dog treats, somewhere around $500 million. $500 million for a spice blend that's just cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and clove, dressed up with better marketing than almost any product in food history. Now, here's the thing I actually find kind of fascinating. That spice combination isn't new at all. It goes back centuries. Cultures all over the world have been pairing warm spices with coffee and desserts forever. Arabic coffee with cardamom and clove. Mexican hot chocolate with cinnamon. What Starbucks did wasn't invent a flavor. They took something old and familiar and gave it a name, a season, and a cup you could carry down the street so everyone could see you had one. That's really the genius of it. It's not a secret recipe. It's a costume. And once one company put a costume on a flavor and a whole vibe, everybody else in the food industry looked at that and said, well, we can do that too. Which is how you end up with pumpkin spice peeps and pumpkin spice hummus. And I really did see this, pumpkin spice deodorant. So why does it work on us every single year, even when we're rolling our eyes at it? I think it's because pumpkin spice isn't really a flavor claim anymore. It's a signal. It's the smell equivalent of putting out your fall doormat. It tells your brain and everybody around you that the season officially changed, even if it's still 90 degrees outside, which if you live where I do, it absolutely still is. And look, I get the eye roll. I've done the eye roll. But I'd be lying if I said I don't light a pumpkin spice candle the second September hits. There's something genuinely comforting about a smell that means the same thing every single year. It's consistency. It's nostalgia you can buy for $12. Here's where I'll be honest with you though, because you know I always am. A lot of what's on the shelf this time of year isn't actually that good. It's pumpkin spice in name only. A label slapped on something that tastes more like cinnamon sugar than anything with real depth. And a lot of it costs way more than it should for what's genuinely just 4 spices you probably already own. So if you want the real version of that flavor, the one that actually tastes like the fall you're picturing, you don't need a $12 candle or a specialty syrup pump. You need cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove in the right ratio. And you need to make it yourself. That's it. That's the whole secret Starbucks was hiding. For 12 years anyway. It was never about the pumpkin. It was always about the spice. I've got my own pumpkin pie spice mix over on the site, and once you have that one base blend sitting in your pantry, it turns into basically everything the seasonal aisle is trying to sell you. I stir it into my pumpkin spice coffee creamer for my coffee in the morning. I use it in my pumpkin spice cocoa mix on the nights it's finally cool enough to want hot chocolate. And it's the whole backbone of my pumpkin earthquake cake, which is the one dessert I make on repeat all October. 4 different things people are paying candle prices for. And it's the same jar of spice doing all the work. That's really what this whole season is about for me. Not skipping the pumpkin spice because honestly, I love it as much as anyone. Just not starting from zero every time I want it. Mix the base once, keep it on hand, and build whatever you're craving from there. Candle's still optional. All right, that's it for today. If you try the pumpkin spice mix or the earthquake cake this week, I want to hear about it. Come find me on Instagram and show me what you made. And if you know somebody who's already got 7 pumpkin spice candles going right now, send them this episode. They'll appreciate knowing where it all started. And thanks for spending this time with me. I'll talk to you next week.